Hello there, my wonderful internet and you amazing, beautiful creatures of the beyond. Since my last video just failed, because I did not realize the streaming software I was using, basically Twitch Studio just froze the freaking game and I was just recording for 2 hours and didn't even realize it. But what can you do? So, to redeem myself, I thought of making one extra video tonight. Just an opinion video, of course. So, I was looking up the Little Mermaid movie because, first of all, I know it's a children's game, and I wasn't looking because of that. I was looking more from the artistic perspective because when I was young, I saw that movie. It was very colorful and everything. Just, it inspired me, you know. I like the animations and the story and so on. And I was expecting the remake to look fantastic. I thought like, whoa, imagine how they would make Sebastian look like, and uh, I forgot the fish name, Flabber, something, something. I don't know. And all of those animations and oh my god, when I saw it, I was like, what the hell is this? Everything was so ah, subpar, you know? But what can you expect? It's like most of these huge corporations that love to milk money out of their customers try to put as little effort as possible to get as much money as possible. But that's not the point. But I was truly disappointed in the visuals. And I'm not invested in the story or anything like that. It's I'm just not into Disney movies. Maybe when I was a child, yeah. And the thing is that I went online and I was trying to see like the reviews of what other people think, and because I wanted to understand the story a little bit better, you know, like I didn't remember the full story, and I started seeing all of these people going like on crazy rants, reviewing like with pure anger. And I'm not saying that their criticism wasn't valid. It was totally valid, and people are always very passionate about what they're doing. But it wasn't just one review; it was many reviews, and I was like, "Damn, this is not okay." Like many people are so angry, and I don't know. In a way, like all of these things in life related to politics, religion, culture, it all revolves about scaring people, like anger or fright because something can be taken from you or something can be changed. And of course, when we're talking about a movie that lots of people loved, they feel robbed when all of these new things are introduced, and it's totally normal. But what I find mm, displaced in a way is that people identify too much with these things, and we shouldn't, in my opinion. And this is an opinion because I know how easy it is to fall into that, I don't know, wave of being caught onto something. I remember when I made the review for Cleopatra. Well, in fairness, that review was I was trying to be as objective as possible, but I still found myself being torn a little bit apart when I saw how the facts were being twisted. And you cannot just go around and say, oh, look, history, because they presented it as a historic event, as a historic documentary. Like, history happened how we imagined it. No, history happened the way it happened. You can't twist things just to make you happy. And history is full of unhappy events and very horrible events, but we have to own the past. We can't just say, oh, it has to go the way we imagine it because it will make us feel better. No. And to that end, is like when we push ourselves, like I used to be in the past, I used to think about those things that I truly want them to be true, but they were totally untrue. Like, mm, I was thinking about deja vu, and in my mind at that time when I was not so elevated in my knowledge, I was thinking like deja vu is the ability to see in the future. In if anyone was trying to challenge my thoughts and say no, that's just not scientifically proven or it's irrational, illogical, you can't prove it. I felt like my reality was being destroyed and I was taking it very personal. So maybe yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like people when they get attached to something or identify with something, they become very personal about it. And you can imagine going around and seeing, I don't know, an ad outside and they're like, come buy something from us. And I don't know, broccoli. And you hate broccoli and you're starting swearing at the banner ad because you hate broccoli and you do not want to buy it. Obviously, nobody cares about that, but you do. You put too much pressure on yourself to say, like, no, I would never accept this. And to that point is like, yeah, sure, nobody's forcing you to accept it. And this is what startled me a little because as I was looking through all of these reviews for The Little Mermaid, everybody was like, "No, I would not accept all these changes. No, I do not like them." Yeah, sure, nobody likes them. Sure, they're not logical, but at the end of the day, the franchise belongs to Disney, and they can do whatever the heck they want with it. Just like everybody goes on these social media websites and they're like, freedom of speech and we can do and say what we want, and then they find themselves banned. No, because they're not public spaces, they're private. They're just advertised as public, or there's everything that's presented to us. It's advertising to at its best, trying to say, oh, everything is the way you would like it to be. But when you go into the terms and services, you discover that nope, they own all the rights, they do whatever they wish, so we can't do anything about it. Well, aside from voting with our wallets, of course. So, as from my lens, when I look at these things, at these reviews, I'm more inclined to think like, why aren't these people trying to just ignore the movie for one, if they don't like it, I mean, and try to orient themselves toward movies that they truly like recommend things that they find appealing and that they enjoy instead of just filling themselves with anger on things that are notorious on the internet. And in a way, I kind of understand how the internet works in the sense that it's so much easier to create intrigue and uh, friction between various polarized parties, and then people love this kind of arguments and heated things, you know. So it's much easier to be drawn towards this cloud of negativity, in quotes. But if we present to other or recommend to others from our knowledge some of the movies that impressed us and some of the indie movies that are not so present on the big screens or on cable TV or whatever. Because I've seen some indie movies made in some foreign countries like Germany, Spain, Italy, and they're top 10. It's like, wow, they're just so amazing. They truly, truly go to the core of what is about filmmaking. And that is to tell a good story, to have good acting, to have amazing cinematography, amazing sound, uh, amazing environments, and they don't go with all of these high crazy budgets and stuff, and they don't go with super crazy expectations. They just go with like, hey, I have a cool idea, I want to present it, and I want to see if people love it, you know. And that, in my opinion, is how you truly build up a collective around a movie instead of just going for all of these private franchises. Well, I mean, all of them are private at the end of the day because the rights are owned by the writers, screenwriters, uh, directors, and so on, and all of these studios. The word wasn't coming to my mind. So if we get stuck into this loop of like, oh, look at what they're doing, we're just creating like this is the only option we have instead of looking at other things. And just like on the internet is not just Google, Facebook, Yahoo, or whatever people know these days, like TikTok and so on. The internet is so vast. Those things are just a tiny, tiny sub percentage. It's like 0.001 on the internet, all of these mainstream things. Because the internet is so amazingly large and is so much data out there. And not all of it is cataloged through the browsers. A large portion of it is, but not all of it. There are still websites that can be found through various crazy crawlers and so on, or because it's easy to not index a website if you do not want it to be presented there. But sometimes you can find really amazing content only if you try to search. And there is this extension called Stumble Upon. And basically, it's sort of a search engine, but it's kind of random. It's like you press a button in your browser, you have to install it, and it just leads you to a crazy random website. Of course, at the beginning when you activate that plugin, it asks you if you want to go to through various categories. But if you select all of them or none of them, it will just throw you into some weird website that you never thought about. And you can find some really cool information there or some new ideas. Just play around. The randomness can be amazing. So yeah, my rant was that we shouldn't be stuck with just what is high budget and only presented to us on the big screens, and always try to invest our time and to orient towards other cool things that are not necessarily the same high budget and same crazy cast that we're used to, and just reinvent the way we enjoy our time. You guys stay awesome. I'll see you next time. Bye 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 bye.